Welcome to another episode of Uncensored Daily Radar, where your fellow foiled friend scans the entire globe for what may or may not be artificial and nefarious activity. We go through satellite radar as well as the zippity zip zap radar, aka NEXRAD, to better understand atmospheric and environmental conditions in full context. Before we get started, there are a few things that you should know. Number one, I repeat, I am not a meteorologist, but I am a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist, which obviously makes me far more qualified to analyze atmospheric conditions. Number two, videos are fairly short, but feel free to skip ahead to any section you're most interested in. And lastly, if you'd like to see these daily radar videos, please consider becoming a paid subscriber. Otherwise, this video is about to reach a paywall, and we'll pause right now. Now. Okay. All right, let's get started.
Good evening. It is January 29th, about 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's get started. All right. This catches my eye. This is happening right now. Right now. In fact, let's zoom on in. Side note, if any of you know how to avoid malaria, let me know. Besides not going to a place with malaria. Clothing-wise, what works the best? Problem is, non-toxic options are the only ones I'm actually interested in. Yeah, look at all this, guys. 2100. 2100. That is when it kicks in. For both of them. It just updated. Okay, so it looks like it stopped very recently. Crazy. And it seems scheduled because I pulled up my show. Yeah, see? Same time. 21:55. And they're doing that again. Interesting. I was told once, I don't know if this is true, but when you see the red, that's evidence that someone actually has their hand on the settings. So they're doing something to it. They're like changing it. So, yeah, it's scheduled. Whatever is happening over here. It has nothing to do with weather, that's for sure. And it makes me curious about what's happening actually in Southern California as well. Let's see.
And remember, every single glow you see here is a NEXRAD radar station. The official statement is that it's just simply Doppler radar helping us track weather systems and give us forecasts, things like that. The conspiracy theory is that these towers are equipped with technology to allow us to manipulate the weather in various ways. One of those ways being that it can microwave certain areas of the atmosphere to the point of creating high levels of heat, which can cause heat waves, excessive drought. Of course, you can also, by creating massive temperature swings, you can create severe winds. And also, by creating a heated area like that, you can create a high pressure zone. High pressure zones deter low pressure systems, aka storms. So if a storm is traveling, like let's say it would have normally gone like here, well, you can put a bunch of high pressure zones up here, or like a big high pressure zone here, and it would have gone up, but instead it's gonna do this. And then you could even put a high pressure zone here, and then it would be encouraged to do that. You could also surround it. Theoretically, this is all theoretical, conspiratorially theoretical.
Tell me more, like does he have a car? Oh wait, I have to turn off the night shift. Guys, you have to be able to see all the blue. And also, side note, I haven't eaten any food that I've liked in like 2 weeks. I want something that tastes good. And it's very upsetting. 16:45. Yeah, and Southern California is acting up more than normal, especially this one. To buy me in the arcade. Yeah, Nevada's being weird. And Southern California. Just California in general. Whoa, okay. This is crazy. Wonder the zippity zappy is going nuts. It's on steroids. Yeah, that's good. That right there is a video. Because honestly, that's the most, and those are the most intense beams I've ever seen on NextRad. I've seen maybe one, shooting out, maybe for a few frames. This is 2, and it's going on for, that's a decent amount of time here. It's skipping a lot because I pulled up more time, so the intervals are longer. Before you were seeing every 5 minutes. This is showing you every 20 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So you gotta wonder what's going on over yonder. Oh, we're back in the yonders again. All right, what else? What else? Obviously, California, Nevada. This area is just still glistening like glitter. I don't know yet what that's about. I need to find a pattern for that. Not pulling up the right maps, and you think of more maps to pull up. Just until I'm getting over being sick, so my voice. I mean, I'm not sick, but my voice is still coming back to normal. Summer breeze and Florida and Louisiana, all the way over here. Sunrise. Sunset. Such a terrifying song. Right. But on the summer night, willow. Definitely trails mixed in to this precipitation here. You got some glowsies over here. Yeah, these towers are definitely doing some weird stuff. I won't annoy you by saying it. Oh, I'm sorry, I lied. That was crazy. All right. Yeah, okay, so this one's beaming up here. This one's beaming down here. Now this area, oh my gosh, this area is the only part of the country that zip zaps nonstop 24/7. However, this is probably 3 times the amount that I'm used to seeing. Maybe more. Something really weird is happening over here, guys. Something really weird is going on over here. In fact, let's investigate. Meow. All right, well, we got fun. I gotta plug my computer in. But I don't know why grease is in my head all of a sudden. Pressure. Smoke, no fires. Any recent... I mean, the area's been getting loads of trails, but it always does. There's nothing abnormal looking on here. I mean, yeah, there's freaking trails everywhere, but it's not anything I haven't seen before. So what is birds? Doubt it. Well. Tell me more. Love at first sight. Tell me more. Did she put up a fight? Ooh, that's a rough line. Alright. Nope. It's not the beds. And there's really not even any heat signature. Heat signatures coming out of here. That would indicate that there's some crazy fire that maybe just isn't popping up on this one, on this map. What about AQI? Oh, all right. What is this? That's a really bad AQI. We have seen that before, and it was associated with dust. Dust? Ah, the dust. This is the cause for the AQI. Nitrogen dioxide's pretty high over here. What about sulfur? Sulfur's been weird. Hold on. Nitrogen dioxide. Sulfur dioxide, surface ozone, carbon monoxide concentration, also not very good out here. Dust mass. Is it dust? So, I mean, it could be dust, could be nitrogen dioxide, could be just something completely different. What's the wind like? No. I believe this is ground level humidity, not relevant to what's going on in the atmosphere as far as contrails are concerned. Where is it? Come on. So, super dry in this area, and it's dusty. Interesting. Whoops, I just got up, just came back. It's always my cats. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about, but we can move on. I will hopefully not miss anything. But yeah, this whole area is going nuts. Yeah, well, that's right. We looked over the smoke and everything. We saw the AQI. Yeah, that's weird. Yes, you can come up here. Definitely trails moving through here. Come here. I wonder if you can hear the purrs of my cat. It's my boy cat. He's very masculine, very big. Lighten up. Summer day, the seams by summer night. Can't wait for summer. Yeah, it's around sunrise. There's like thousands of radio pulses emanating from things that are not NEXRAD towers. How many times have I said that? A lot. Sometimes you can see them all over the place super clearly. See all these little dots? See? And then there's these radial pulses that come out. And they go away. Now, NEXRAD will do some interesting things at night versus daytime versus like sunrise. I don't really see a whole lot during sunset, though. Usually it's been sunrise. See here, over here too. Dot, 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 dot. You can really see those circle radial pulse, radial pulse, radial pulse. A cat yawning while purring. She get me a friend. Oh, that's interesting. It's a pretty powerful beam going up. Nice to seeing that coming out of that area. It was going for like 20 minutes. Maybe longer. Yeah, I just still don't know what causes that. Yeah, there's like a constant glow down here too. Well. Yeah, NEXRAD's just behaving abnormally in a lot of different ways. In lots and lots of different little ways. Lots of trails moving up in northern Mexico. Boom, boom, boom. This looks just like yesterday. So many trails. Lots and lots of trails moving in. Right now. This is right now. Lots of them over here. Summer dreams ripped at the seams. Whoa, look at all these. Up here in Canada. People, I mean, yeah. The Canadians have been messaging me, telling me that they've been seeing excess. On satellite, it looks just as bad as it always does, but I'm sure it looks, you can, tell from the ground. Then again, I'm looking up at a bird, like satellite view. So, maybe what I'm seeing regularly over Canada, maybe like this one area is seeing a crazy amount of it versus like this area. So yeah, over there home, they're seeing more. Lots of trails coming in from the Pacific. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it upside down, 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 down. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it upside down, down. There was a Chuck E. Cheese version of that song. And I thought it was so much better than the normal version of that song. I love that song so much that I wanted to just dance to it for this talent show. I literally just went up and just danced with my friend. Like, not even choreographed, just jumping around. I was very young. And I cried and cried and cried because I accidentally left my tape, because it was a tape, cassette tape, there. And I never got it back. And then I had to listen to Gloria Estefan, I don't even know whose was. I had to listen to the original. It wasn't nearly as good as Chuck E. Cheese's. I gotta find that. All right, so yeah, obviously this whole area is loaded with trails. This area moving up into the U.S. is loaded with trails. Pacific, loaded with trails. Canada, you've got some trails. Trails up here too. I want to redo that video, the shoes video, shoes, and do trails instead. Trails. Oh my gosh, trails. These trails rule. These trails suck. These trails rule. These trails suck. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there was like this viral video. It was intended to be stupid. Of this man pretending to be a woman before it was cool. And, come on, load. And, oh, okay, so we've got trail down here. And just one, though. Oh yeah, so he was dressed up like a woman, and it was just like shopping at a mall, talking about shoes. It was so dumb, so dumb. But because it was so dumb, it was so. In fact, I'll show you at the end of this show. How about that? I will include the video at the end of the show. Trails moving into Europe. That's Spain and Portugal, Northern Africa. We'll switch satellites to be able to see a little bit better. Wouldn't it be nice if we could wake up in the morning when the day is new? Then we wouldn't have to. I forgot the words, but that's so cool. Got some trails in here and in here. If we could spend the night and stay together, wouldn't it be nice? What do you think of when I sing that song? Because I instantly envision 51st Dates. So many trails in here. Yeah, plenty of trails moving in through here. It must be really confusing, the AI algorithm that's going into transcripting this show with all the songs that I'm singing. It's like, what is this video about, actually? Lots of trails. I'm sorry, did I wake you? My other cat isn't here to kick him out. These trails. Kitties. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Mr. Catman. Bring my cat a treat. Make it the nippest that I've ever seen. Catnip. And I'm so alone, ain't got nobody to call my own. Mr. Sandman. I get the feeling that there's some stuff. Okay, there's a trail there. I mean, they could be contrails. I've definitely seen chemtrails here, or what looks like suspicious trails here multiple times. These are pretty faint, low altitude, not lasting very long. It looks more like a contrail, but you know, with that area, it's hard to say. Now, yesterday we saw a lot over here by Pukno, right? Spelled Phukno. Right here. Terrible. And if you guys missed that, it was in last night's show. Yeah, there's... Oh, gosh. My cat's breath is so bad, I can tell if he's yawned. Even if it's a silent yawn. Gosh. I wish they'd let me brush their teeth. Apparently you're not supposed to do that. I don't know. Lots of trails here. Yeah, there are trails moving in here. I mean, those could be contrails. I said that yesterday. They are lower altitude. They're spread out in the area that they're forming. And these are, I would say, even more suspicious going into India because they are spreading out. It looks like these are higher altitude and dropping. Yeah, these are more like in the black category, dropping into red. These are like in the blue category. But then there's some in the black category over here. This area is very confusing to me right now. Yeah, I would say it's weird what's going on over India. It's not crazy, crazy, crazy looking like it was on those days where I was like, uh-oh, in 72 hours, if there's a crazy storm, we know where it came from. Like, I wouldn't say that right now. But it looks pretty nuts. Northern China's got some trails. Russia, you've got some trails. Kazakhstan, you've got trails. And Mongolia, you're getting trails because they're coming in from Russia. I should probably point these things out. Kazakhstan, Mongolia, China. Russia. Keep forgetting I have a lot of new people on here, and I want to make sure you're not getting lost. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. So this satellite's actually skipping quite a bit. I have 60-minute intervals starting at, so it's starting here, 22:15. It should be 23:15. But it just skips to the next day, so it skips a couple hours there. 1 hour, 2, yeah, it skips an hour and a half. Lovely, like 11-hour skip here. Obviously, that's not an hour. Yeah. Lots of times being skipped over here. Either that's a glitch or they just don't want you seeing something that's happening here. And we do have some trails heading in over here. Again, this is the one area where of Africa where I've seen something that looks like trails coming in. Sometimes looks very suspicious, but then there's always like a quality about it that makes me think it's a contrail instead of a chemtrail. And this would be the area that you would see them. Because I have seen, actually, no, that's a lie, because I've seen them right around here. I still think they're contrails. Because they're just kind of disappearing. These are all hazing out. This whole area is loaded with trails. Lots of trails. Not really seeing anything obvious over in this area, but definitely all through here. There's some hazy stuff going on over there. And look at that. Help us test a new version of Windy. Not really noticing a difference here. I guess it's that it shows you more detail upon zooming in and out. Like instead of big zooms, it does smoother zooms? I don't know. Let's do it. We are in the testing version. We are very fancy. What was I looking for again? What are we doing? Holy macaroni. So we're in the weather warnings, and this is the testing version. Notice how I can't see. Oh, you have to zoom in a lot, I guess. Wait, let's see. Hold on. Testing version. I don't want to get rid of it. All right, I can just zoom in a little bit more. So we got gale winds over here on either side of Florida. In the southern portion by Miami, you have a severe freeze watch and an extreme cold watch. Dangerously cold wind chills. My gosh, Florida. Got genetically modified mosquitoes, and now you're cold. What's the point? What is the point of being over there anymore? Ugh. Oh, and they just sprayed they've sprayed pesticides from their trucks. Ugh. Yeah, all of Georgia's got the same stuff. Extreme cold watch. Severe winter storm watch. Extreme cold watch over here in Alabama. And all in these areas. As far as the coastline is concerned, the Carolinas, you guys have a gale watch. Severe storm watch. Gale watch. Pennsylvania. Moderate cold weather advisory. And yeah. All up in New England. You guys have moderate cold advisory, cold weather advisory, except northern New York. You guys have a severe extreme cold warning. Along Massachusetts, Connecticut area off the coast, you guys have a severe winter storm watch and coastal flood watch. Which, North Carolina, you guys also have that heavy freezing spray warning. Oh no, what? It just went away. Oh, I suppose maybe it just didn't load. Maybe that was from up here, heavy freezing spray warning. Yeah, okay. Maybe it loaded and I just somehow didn't see it. Mississippi and eastern Louisiana, severe extreme cold warning. And my goodness, Tennessee, you guys have a cold weather advisory, but also a special statement, hazardous, oh yeah, black ice. Kentucky, you guys also have that cold weather advisory and a band of light snow expected to develop tonight. Indiana, low temperatures, not as cold as last night, but will still fall between 2 below 0 and 6 degrees above 0 during the night. Missouri, cold weather advisory. Arkansas, cold weather advisory. Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas, cold weather advisory. What a mess. Northern Minnesota, same thing. North Dakota, same thing. Over by Rapid City, South Dakota, and eastern Wyoming in that same area, moderate winter weather advisory. Central Montana, severe high wind watch, and western Montana, same thing. Eastern Idaho, severe flood watch. Let me guess, fog? Yeah, moderate dense fog advisory in central California. Along your coastline, you have Mr. Salmon. Gale winds, beach hazards, sneaker waves. Don't mess with sneaker waves. Don't go to the beach over here. Terrifying. Moderate gale warning along the northwestern coastline. And beach hazard statement, sneaker waves. Also, don't go to the beach over here. Don't mess with sneaker waves. They are very sneaky, hence their name. So yeah, very, very sneaky. All right. Any other extreme? I can't tell if it's. Okay. Stop it. How do I get rid of this thing? Stop it. No. I want to get rid of this thing. But how do you unclick? Unclick. Oh. All right, Ecuador. Rain and thunderstorms. Extreme rain and thunderstorms. Temperature extremas. Oh, temperaturas extremas calor. Oh, very hot, I guess. Extremely hot in Argentina. Hace calor. I'm just going around clicking on all the extreme areas. I feel like this beta version is affecting a lot of different things. It's not moving well. Extreme coastal event warning, severe coastal event warning, and also a moderate coastal event warning, and also a moderate snow warning. That was over in Ecuador. Wait, no. What am I... That was where the other... Oh my gosh. So it's partially in Portugal, partially in Spain. Not Ecuador. Heat. Extreme heat. Over in Australia. And extreme cold. Over here. All right, Tropical Storm 19. Got this guy over here. And we got Tropical Storm 18 over here. Now, this was a Category 2, I believe, not long ago. Unless that one... No, it would have had a name, actually. So I guess that that cyclone is gone. Interesting. Dust. How is the dust? Oh, that dust is making its way pretty far to the east. Well, sorry, to the west. It's coming into South America. Let's hope it's not like it was earlier last year, where this dust was going all the way up, covering all of the U.S. That was disgusting. I could taste the dust in my mouth. I want to know what all this is. This has been going on now, on and off, for a couple months. Wow, whoops, I'm not even in the camera. Sorry. Now, we already did the AQI, but I was more so looking for California. Yeah, over here, guys. What is... So, this was really bad yesterday. Go away. This was bad yesterday, and it's still bad today. And I can't find a reason for it. I can't find a reason for it. I can't find a source for it. There's got to be a reason why the AQI isn't good. Again, there's no smoke, right? Let's see the wind pattern here. All right, so it looks like all the air actually from here, and it's all collecting right here. Everything's kind of flowing in between Oklahoma and Arkansas. Oklahoma and Arkansas. It could be that the pollutants from all these other areas is collecting right here. And we know that, unfortunately, with all the snow that was falling, somehow, you know, when you get a lot of rain or a lot of snow lately, instead of the air quality improving, as it should, you've got a filtration system when it rains and when it snows, collects everything in the air and brings it down. Somehow, we're now seeing worse AQIs. Theory? Maybe what's falling is extremely dirty. And all the wind is pooling it. See, look at how the wind is flowing all through. Gosh darn it, I want to get rid of this. All right, I just clicked something else. So notice how wind traveling here. Wind, 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 wind. That's it. That's what it is. And here even, it's kind of stalling out. It's like some of it's collecting here. Some of it's leaving here, though. Looks like there's some air stagnation here. and here and here. Yeah, it's all pooling. So all the dirty air that's been over the US is being forced into this area. And this area looks like it's stagnant. So it's keeping whatever is there from moving, I guess. As far as over here, there's a source, and I don't know what it is. So you guys are all getting the leftovers of the storm. That's my theory. This is all dust. Pollution, maybe dust. I don't know how people are alive here. I say this all the time, but like, how are people alive here? This is all the time. It doesn't stop. I mean, if this is it hasn't been going on long enough. If this has been like an issue for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, then, you know, the people who just, you know, the way evolution is, the people who are capable of surviving in these conditions would happen to make it to adulthood to be able to have a child. That child would take on the genetic qualities of that person, which, you know, by luck allows them to remain healthy in this situation. And that through natural selection of that happening, you know, throughout several generations, you would end up with a generation that is fit in these circumstances. But these circumstances, I believe a lot of this is industrial pollution. Their factories are out of control. Which, that would be new. You wouldn't have had enough generations for that yet. See, I consider this really bad. This is bad. Just documenting the pressure map. Is this an ad? Helen Hunt? Wait, what? Yeah, so I just typed in Helen Hunt confirmed on a bunch of different things and there's nothing. I guess that was like a tricky ad. But when I think of Helen Hunt, I think of Twister, right? Twister? And I freaking love that movie. So I'm like, wait, what happened? But it must have been a clever ad. Or it was a report that shouldn't have been released. And they took it away immediately. I found it. I clicked on it. I never click on ads. And, yeah. This is not... You know what? That's tricky. Because everyone who who looks on Wendy probably knows exactly who Helen Hunt is and cares. And bunch of BS. It's the only ad I would ever look at and be like, oh my gosh, what happened? Not the only ad. That's right, I'm documenting the pressure. I can't remember if I finished this. Okay. And I think we already played this earlier. I challenge you to find a single arrow going down. These birds just keep flying north. Hey, no fighting! Wait, did I just see one going down? Hold on. No, it was 2 going up. I thought that was going to be a first. These birds apparently just keep flying north. Makes no sense. Earthquakes. I think this was the one from yesterday. Oh, that's right. This browser. That was one from 2 days ago. For some reason, it's popping up even though I restricted the time. That one is a little strange. These are still happening over here. There's something going on in this area. 27th, 28th, 29th. All right, let's do a little experiment here. Because maybe my memory's off. So let's customize it. Whoa. What the heck? Okay. What? Yeah. Drag this over here. It's weird looking at this without any lines. Okay. Oh. Okay. Let's look since let's look for a year. Let's do it. Not a lot. Not a lot. They do seem to be clustered right here. All right. Next, let's see how many of these. Hold on. All right, so there's been 1,293 in this region. I'm going to take a note. All right, I wrote that down. Let's see how many of those have happened in the last 6 months. All right, so 703, more than half, not by much. Let's see how many have occurred in the last month. $124 in the last month. All right, and if there were 124 every month for the last year, we would have about 1,500 earthquakes, 1,488 in the last year. But instead we had 1,293. So yeah, okay. There's slightly more than average in the area. I wouldn't consider that notable. So yeah, I guess they've been happening over here, and it seems more noticeable today. Probably because there's been quite a few here in the last couple days. All right, back to what? Jeez, come on. Well, that's a big one. 6.0. South Sandwich. Nothing over here. All right. Powerful nor'easter to bomb out with heavy snow. Winter storm alerts issued from South Carolina to Virginia. And now it is time for Normie News. Winter storm watches have already been issued for the Carolinas, Virginia, Maryland, Tennessee, and Georgia.
Get what and timing, and of course we're still fine-tuning, so stay with us because this next storm does have his eyes set on the East Coast. This after the icy condition on the Hudson River that required the Coast Guard ships to free other boats on Tuesday. Man, the Northeast digging out from last week's storm, and now they're bracing for a potential nor'easter. That's going to mean strong winds for the eastern half of the lower 40, or for the eastern seaboard, I should say, rather. And then who gets the snow? And right now, it looks like the Carolinas are watching closely, because you are likely going to get some snow, impactful snow at that, plus the winds, plus the beach erosion. It's a nor'easter, and this is the time of year where we see that type of setup for the beach erosion due to those winds. And, man, the waves, too, big concern.
We still have some icy spots across the Carolinas. So this is kind of a back-to-back, but a very different storm, because it is going to be mainly snow. I mean, we have plenty of cold air present, and we have plenty of moisture locked up in this. And so the combination is looking like a different profile than the winter storm that we just went through. Arctic air moves in. We got this big dip in the jet stream, and then we wait for a coastal storm to develop, which is not going to even form until Saturday. And that's why we got to be nimble with the forecast. We're going to see these shifts, but each and every day the shifts will get smaller, and then we'll have more clarity as we go day by day.
Yeah, I think you can plan on some strong winds, that's for sure. As far as the mid-Atlantic and Northeast, a bit of a question. Long Island sticks out there, would be one area to watch. This storm wobbles just a little bit, 50 to 100 miles. We're in for a different story. The Cape, yeah, for sure. That's going to be all the way down through Hatteras, P-Town. All of you are watching closely. Britta, the traditional and AI
They're
models.
getting along this morning.
Yeah, look at that. Look how tight they are. They're like best buddies right now, and that is better for us to get us.
Yeah, it makes our job a lot easier.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we're going to continue on this trend, but a helpful trend. Notice that they do diverge a little bit positional-wise as we go into Sunday, but they all agree that we're going to be east of the benchmark. If you're not familiar with the benchmark, it's an actual physical position in the Atlantic where if an area of low pressure goes over that position, it is primo for real big snow totals for the 95 corridor. So with all the computer models kind of suggesting that this is going to be to the east of that benchmark, that means that we're not really going to be seeing a big snow event for the 95 corridor, at least with how things are playing out right now.
Yeah, no kidding. And again, that could all change just a bit, but I think that you will notice the impacts from the waves and the winds across the Northeast. When we talk about the snow, we're breaking this down because a lot of us from the Carolinas will be dealing with most of the snow. Behind it, guess what? The cold air is still in place. So you throw in strong winds, that's the potential for power outages, making sure that you're ready to go without power, without heat for a couple of days while they work to get that on. I think that's a big part of the story we also want to make sure that you are aware of.
Specifically means for Virginia and the Carolinas. Again, important to point out that this storm isn't even going to be a storm until Saturday. So there are changes that will continue, but we do officially have watches up from the National Weather Service office. So this is the heads up that the time is now on the clock, and we do have to make some preps. Many of you did those preps last weekend. So good thing to keep everything in place. Clearing the gutters. If you didn't do it, I would do it now. I had an ice jam in my gutter.
You told me, man. You don't think about that. Ice jams in your gutter where you're supposed to have just rain flowing and leaves, but
nope, it can cause some damage. So do your due diligence, Virginia and North Carolina. We also are looking at plowable snow with this storm setup. We're not talking about a dusting. The computer models are pumping out well over 6 inches of snow. The higher totals, possibly over 8. And there's a moderate winter weather impact. I think that's going to bump up to major.
I think so.
Honestly, guys, you're not going to go anywhere on Saturday and Sunday. They're going to ask folks to stay off the roads to keep them open for first responders. And right now, the heavy snow totals are to the east of the 95 corridor, but the overnight runs had Charlotte in the 5 to 8 snow, belt. So you're going to see these wobbles back and forth.
Yeah, for sure. So stay with us, keep the conversation going so that you get the latest every single day. Here's what we're looking at this point. Now, that area of low pressure that in the upper elevation starts to drop, and that will give us the snow upslope for the western slopes of Tennessee, western North Carolina, as early as tomorrow. Come Saturday, now we're starting to watch the formation right there close to Hatteras, where you get that area of low pressure develop. We get more in the way of moisture. Cold air is already in place, and now a good chunk of North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia is getting in on the action. And look how cold the wind is when you look at that image right there around that area of low pressure and strong winds.
This low doesn't really budge a lot between Saturday and Sunday, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
We're
Hatteras
talking
to
about,
where, Norfolk?
yeah, maybe
Off the
like
coast?
100 miles, if that. So that does mean that we're in for a long duration of snow and also exposure to the beach erosion, the winds, the powerful waves. And it does mean that it's going to take longer for this to kick off to the North Atlantic. So the impacts for wind, possibly for the Northeast, would be delayed until Monday. The wind is something to consider. I mean, this can lead to power outages, especially in vulnerable spots like the Outer Banks. We could see 60-mile-per-hour winds. So this storm really takes into account everything that most folks think about when it comes to the word nor'easter. Wind, impact, snow.
So there's more info on that tornado that was going through during the snowstorm in Alabama. So figured I'd show you this.
While much of the nation started digging out of the snow on Monday, one Alabama town is in cleanup mode following an apparent tornado. This is Geneva, where severe weather struck on Sunday night. Surprisingly, this is just one of the southern impacts from Winter Storm Fern. The damage? Extensive. Brick buildings toppled, roofs ripped right off the tops of others, and debris tossed all around town. But this is proof that dangerous winter storms are not just snow and ice.
You know, I really need to pay attention to the named storms over in Europe. Because you know how that satellite's been going out? Well, I know for a fact that before a giant storm hits them, the NOAA slider starts cutting out. And it's been cutting out for the last 2 days. Apparently, they've had a major storm come through. I didn't know about that. I mean, I could see, you know, all the warnings and alerts and stuff, but I didn't know they like had a officially named storm. Makes no sense that we should see the NOAA slider cutting out footage. Whoever's doing that for the US is also doing it for Europe. That's a fact. And without further ado, shoes. This video has 71 million views. Posted 18 years ago. Really? Has it really been that long? Oh my gosh. One of the dumbest videos I've ever seen.
Happy birthday, twins.
A computer and a car. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Kelly, go ahead and open your present.
Okay, I was going to play it, but there's a lot of swearing in the beginning. Basically, there's some really stupid commentary happening over here. Let's go to the actual song. Hopefully, I don't think there's any swearing.
Boy.
Okay, the end of that, the whole thing I had to cut out. Well, that's it for today. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.